I mean, hey, welcome back to Hairless Horror. My name is Jordan, as you can see in the lower left down there. And this is my kind of impromptu review of Ice Cream Man, the new Eli Roth movie, the follow up to 2023's Thanksgiving. Nothing to do with the Clint Howard movie from, was it the early 90s? Which I'm sure you know already. I'm far from the first person on YouTube to be talking about this. And I did want to jump on here because not that I'm going to defend it. Don't worry. I'm not going to defend this movie too much. I'm not going to say it's a good movie. It's not a good movie, but it's been getting like fucking shit on since it came out a few days ago. Like this week, all the YouTubers I watch in the horror space, you too, I'm sure, have been shitting on it. And again, it's not a good movie, but I don't think it's as bad as people are saying. So kind of just let me explain a little bit. First, to address the elephants in the room and to kind of get the negatives out of the way. Yes, there is generative AI throughout this. Very clearly, there's AI usage throughout it. I think the first shot, which is, a kind of shot of the ice cream man driving into town, it looks AI to me. It looks a little fake. As I was watching, I was thinking, like, what can I pinpoint what exactly is AI about this? And it's just an overall feel of just fakeness is kind of in that shot. And even the next shot of him still driving into town, but it's an overhead shot, that looks more real. So I feel like even between these first two shots of the movie, it goes from AI to presumably not AI. And then throughout it, there's like, I don't know what you call it, Adobe After Effects, Premiere, I don't know, but like fire effects. You can see that in the trailer, I think, of fire in the houses. And so, yeah, you can tell that there's AI usage throughout it. Personally, do I agree with that? Of course not. I think AI is horrible in that sense. The generative AI, the way it takes, jobs away from talented artists, the way, companies will use it to save money instead of paying good people. And, it leads to unemployment. It leads to more commodification of what's supposed to be an art form. But obviously, Hollywood is a business. Everything is a business. YouTube is a business to a degree. So personally, I'm not for that. I am against that, of course. But I mean, it's an Eli Roth movie, not to make excuses, but it's a low budget, like shitty horror movie. So, I mean, in terms of my enjoyment of the movie, if I'm taking my personal opinion out of it and just watching it as like a movie, it didn't bother me that much. And likewise, there's been a lot of controversy or just a lot of, I won't say complaining because that makes it sound like people aren't justified. You are justified if you felt this way. And, again, people that I watch, people that I know on YouTube, I'm not saying you're wrong. Believe me, I'm not. But yeah, there are a few offensive jokes. One about bulimia. I'm a 12-year-old girl. Of course, I know how to make myself throw up. There's also a joke about autism. They're not, it's not funny. They're not funny jokes and they are offensive. And, 2026, they're outdated, of course. But, I wasn't personally offended by them. I didn't think they were that funny, but it didn't like shock me. And honestly, as I was watching this movie, I kind of thought that this makes me think of like old school Trauma movies. Trauma had a movie called The Children in the 80s, I believe. There's also a movie called Beware Children at Play that this kind of reminded me of. I mean, and as you've heard, like it's a little bit Terrifier. It's a little bit the ending of Weapons. Spoilers for Weapons if you haven't seen Weapons. If you haven't seen Weapons, see Weapons. Weapons is absolutely brilliant. I think it's the best movie of last year. Not to go off on a whole tangent about that, but yeah, it's like Weapons. It's Terrifier. It's not nearly on the level of Weapons by any means. And Terrifier, all three Terrifier movies, even the first one, I like them. I think the second one's the best one. I think the third one's good. I think the first one is better than some people give it credit for. Not the greatest horror movies of recent years, but for what they are, Terrifier is awesome. And yeah, this is not anywhere near as awesome as Terrifier or Weapons. You also have a little bit of Night of the Living Dead, I think, with the children and the ice cream around the mouth, kind of like blood killing adults. A little bit of like the original 1968 Night of the Living Dead. A little bit of the Birds too. Hitchcock's The Birds. Obviously, what other birds would I be talking about? I guess. So it's a little derivative. And the whole idea of like evil children killing adults is not the most original. There's tons of other great movies. There's one called The Innocents from a few years ago. I think it's Swedish. Again, off the cuff. I'm not checking this stuff. That's much better than this, of course. But for what I was prepared for in terms of just the reactions to this, I don't think it's nearly as bad. I kind of appreciated the trominess of it. I kind of appreciated that it knows what it is. And that's the thing. Again, Eli Roth is not a great filmmaker. He's not a great director. He's not a great actor. I mean, the biggest criticism I would have for this movie, as I'm just kind of like rambling to get my thoughts, on video, the acting is horrible. Even the children, like the main, eventually you have like three children who kind of team up. Spoilers, I guess, whatever. It's fucking Ice Cream Man. Their acting is terrible. All the acting is terrible. But again, it is what it is. It's a kind of sleek looking throwback to like 80s schlocky horror. So I'm not expecting great acting. I'm not expecting great direction. The writing is horrible. I mean, it's not quite like the douchey, like dude bro Eli Roth kind of stuff that maybe he did early on. But it's really not good dialogue. And the one scene I think that is horrible, that I do think like made me cringe as I was watching it because it was so bad, is in the trailer too. It's a dining room, like family dinner room, dinner scene with Eli Roth and his kids and his wife. I think the wife was also in Thanksgiving. That scene's horrible. Like, Eli Roth is a terrible actor. So again, I'm not trying to give Eli Roth any flowers in any category of being a filmmaker. But again, for what this was trying to be, I think it is what it is, and it succeeded for what it is. And I mean, there have been a few horror movies in 2026 so far that are better made movies than this for sure, but pissed me off more. And I do not want to watch them again. I would rather watch this than either of them again. Passenger, I think from May, which yes, is a better made movie than this. But it had delusions of grandeur in a sense of thinking it's better than it is. It thought it was scarier. It thought it was creepier. It thought it was, better than it was. And it fell, further because of that, or farther because of that. Same thing with the Faces of Death reboot. That one made me madder than this too, for the same reason, because it thought it was better than it was. It thought it was scarier or edgier or bolder than it was. And it's kind of like, the whole Icarus thing. It flew too close to the sun and it fell. Whereas this is not as well made as those movies, either of those movies. It's not even, I mean, not to like kind of do a backhanded compliment or insult or whatever, but this isn't even as good as the Pinocchio Unstrung movie that came out that I did review. I have a review on the channel if you haven't watched that yet. That's a better movie than this for sure, by a lot. So yeah, objectively, by measurements of filmmaking, this is one of the worst movies I've seen this year for sure. But in terms of, did it do what it set out to do? Did it give me what I expected? Yeah, it's got some gory kills. It's very colorful. It's very vibrant. I think it's kind of like eye candy, like ice cream. It's like dessert for the eyes. It's not well shot. It's not well lit. I'm not saying cinematography is good. I'm not saying that, but it is very colorful and vibrant, which is kind of nice in an age where we don't get a lot of not well lit, but just a lot of like dark horror movies where they think darkness makes it scarier and you just can't see what the hell's going on. Like, you could see everything in this movie. It takes place during the daytime, aside from like one scene. It takes place basically over 2 days. So you have like the nighttime scene, but I thought it was nice to look at. It kept me entertained. I mean, like, yeah, like some practical effects, some of it looks horrible, but like in a kind of B-movie 80s cheesy shitty way. Like, again, it doesn't have any delusions of being better than it is, which is kind of why I wanted to jump on here and defend it a little bit. Again, fuck Eli Roth for the AI, fuck the production company, fuck anybody who uses generative AI instead of employing creators and artists and really getting into the artistry of filmmaking. Like, I agree with that for sure, but it didn't take me out of the movie in a way that made me angry. Like, again, I can kind of separate my personal behind the scenes feelings and industry feelings from just, I'm watching a movie in a movie theater for 80 minutes, 85 minutes. I had enough of a good time. I smiled a bit. I chuckled a little bit of just how stupid this is. Some good gags. So, is Ice Cream Man a good movie? Absolutely not. Is it the worst horror movie this year? I think it depends on, again, what you're looking for. So yeah, just wanted to jump on here and kind of give my two thoughts, throw my hat into the ring of YouTubers talking about Ice Cream Man this week, even though I'm probably like a day late behind the schedule or whatever, but trying to do what I can. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of Ice Cream Man. Are you a fan of the original Ice Cream Man with Clint Howard? One of the few times he's gotten an acting role without his brother helping him out. Sorry, Clint, but it's true. Yeah, let me know what you think of Ice Cream Man. Do you think this is Eli Roth's worst movie, best movie? In general, how do you feel about some of these controversies, I guess, around Ice Cream Man? Yeah, keep watching the channel. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, thanks for tuning in. Check out my other videos. And stay hairless and love horror. We'll see you next time.